Hey, my name is Thunder, and this is my guild challenge submission, and my skill is Blazing Salvo, and I'm an Inquisitor in Salvo, and as I pre-word, the Europe servers are kind of laggy recently, and I lost a lot of progress, and rollbacks took some of my good items, and the footage is a bit laggy because I tried to record it like 2 or 3 times, but it's always bad. And I hope you enjoyed either way. So right into the video. Hey, I will showcase a quick map. It's a T12. It has about 100 quant, more rare monsters, a lot of crit and poison hits, so it's kind of rippy. And the unique boss has a lot of AoE and life. And it also has Beyond and no Maven. And look how it goes. Ideally, in the end game, I use Fireball for clearing and just Blazing Salvo for single target, but for the showcase, I mainly use Blazing Salvo and just occasionally use a wall Fireball to clear. What the fuck? The servers are dying hard. Wow. Yikes! If I lost the map, then I'm only showing lower. Yeah. I already lost like 5 maps, so I'm doing lower tier maps so I don't get bothered that much if I lose them. Has like nothing on it. Unique boss has more life. Lag. The fireball with the wall version is really nice because it auto targets kind of, and it's easier to find all of the remaining mobs in a ritual. Lagging again. Thought about going Pierce with wall fireball or chain for a smoother clear. And another variant I played a bit was the combustion or ignite proliferation. But it doesn't work out too well with blazing Salvo. Now for the boss. Like 4 to 5 spells with echo. Oh, that was the web. I can't enter the hideout. And crash. And that's another map. And now for the boss. And now for the second boss. Drop it. Boom. Here's the equilibrium. Now for the boss. I prefer the ghosts the most. They're sometimes really rippy, but overall the most rewarding ones. Really long range. If I had hunter boots I would go for tailwind and that way increase my animation speed, but I wasn't lucky yet. This video might be a little bit tiny, and this is my build. It's a blazing Salvo build. This is the regular animation, and this is the animation with the firewall. Looks way cooler. Was really surprised with the amount of currency I got, and I could have 6-linked something, and if the ignite was stronger then I would have gone for a Searing Touch 6-link, and I got a Juro's Touch Prophecy and I tried to make that work. Another thing that I wanted to test first was brands, because the Armageddon brand was super cool, and I tried to pair the Arcanist brand with the Blazing Salvo, but I will show you what it looks like. And if you look at the Arcanist brand, if you have 2 mobs, it fires to the other ones, and it's kind of bad for a single target. Try to get only one to follow me. And if you look at the single target of the Arcanist brand, the deer was casted, but then it shoots all of the place, and it hit over there, there, but not really at the target. And if the target is really small, like a smaller humanoid boss, then it has like really weak coverage. And therefore I thought I'd go self-casting. And then I stopped using the brands. And another idea I had was going with Blast Chain Mine or General Mines, because that's a really viable strategy and it's faster than self-casting it, and my echo is currently really low level because I just recently flipped it, so that's maybe part of the problem. And Archmage, I didn't get really good mana setup, and Arcane Surge I love it as well, and I wanted to use General Scry with Vigilant Strike for perma fortify, but it turns out I didn't get the jewel. I was pretty unlucky. If I use the Vigilant Strike like this, I have a 0.85 seconds cast time or attack time. And if you look there, it's super slow. And most of the time I get stunned out of it. And that's why I'm not that tanky. And another idea I had was going Fire to Chaos conversion with 2 Dark Fiends and the Infernal Mantle. But then I would have lost out on all of my Templar stuff with ignoring elemental resistances, because then I would have to ignore all of the chaos resistance as well. So I didn't go that route. My map pool is kind of good. I have some completions that I didn't do yet, and I went up to T14s. And my Atlas bonus is at 105. It would take me another few hours and then I could start doing Cyrus fight. I wanted to showcase the build now so I can respec to something better again later and test some other stuff that I wanted to test, like doing Detonate Dead with Respector or Winter Orb or Penance Brand. But I really need a lot more of cast speed for this build and also for the Penance Brand. Currently I use this weapon from Alva Temple boss. It has Takati's damage mod and buffs a lot of damage. Got a bit of crit multi and trigger socketed spells. That's literally the best weapon I found. And the only other weapons with plus levels, which are the best in slot for me, I found were this all fire spells, but nothing else. And it's worse damage wise, 40.5 to 13k. And 1 to chaos, then 1 for physical, lightning, chaos, lightning, and fire, but it's also less damage, 30k only compared to 14.5k. And because of the rollbacks, I lost a really good amulet that had fire leech on it. I'm using this one right now, just for the resistances and life. For the helmet, I have a Winter Crown, because it has really good flat damage. If we compare the 10k without it to 10.5k, it's the highest DPS upgrade for a helmet I could find. Because of my resistances, they're already super good and I don't really need anything else. So I just took a helm with some resist and life and damage. This shield took a lot of time to get because it didn't spawn any shapers yet. I took a 60% Delirious map with Rusted Shaper Scarab and got really lucky and crafted it within 50 alts and got the life recovery per block. And I'm currently at 56% block and 60% attack block, as well as 2% dodge chance. But if I activate my Wall Grace, then I get another 26%. And if I use my roomies, I'm at block cap for spells and attacks, and I could take another 8% there. And I swapped a little bit out of Chaos Res. Got a really good Chaos Res ring, but pretty much nothing else. A bit of other resistances. And I use an Infernal Mantle for now. I have another 6 link, but it's corrupted. And I do have the recipe to swap to another chest or reroll the colors. As for my main skill, first I leveled with 1000 ribbons for cheap pseudo 6 link with the elemental proliferation. And before that I got an Ashrend and a Doomfledge 6 link, but I didn't use them because the high dex requirement makes a lot of green sockets and would have been a terror to roll. And after that I used Diala's Malefaction, and it was really good because every red socket gives +1 to the gem that's socketed in there, and I used that for the longest part. And then I got a lucky 6 link from a corrupted strongbox, and it has fire res, but my fire res is already way overcapped, and I could recolor the chest, but for now I used Infernal Mantle because it's works just as well and just a slight DPS loss, and the Chaos is good as well. Because I have such high block, this shield is really important because it makes me super tanky. And my boots are just a bit of resistance and movement speed and crafted life. The belt is strength, life, res. And the gloves are just chaos res, spell damage, and really tiny amount of life. And yes, for the flasks I use a Seething Divine Life Flask of Staunching as health pot, roomies, then Alchemist Quicksilver Flask of Adrenaline for super fast movement speed, and I use a Curse Removal Diamond Flask and an Enduring Divine Mana Flask. And the grounding isn't as important because I'm an Inquisitor and I get Pious Path, and then I'm immune to elemental ailments while I have a Consecrated Ground effect on me, and it lingers for 4 seconds, so every time I move it's up for 4 seconds, and if I stand around, cast once, then it's back up again. If I move, I just have to cast anything every 4 seconds to keep it up, so it's easy to maintain and makes my life flask roll easier. And another idea I had was going with Battle Mage, and I didn't get any good staffs besides the Steering Touch, but I don't plan on going with Ignite because the Blazing Salvo has 7 small hits and then the Ignite is kind of weak. If I went more with the strength stacking, then I would have gone with Repentance, Crusader Gloves, because I would have gotten around 400 strength. That way I would have gotten 80% increased spell damage from the gloves. Then used them, just went with Chaos Res gloves more or less. And another idea was to go with Soul Tether. Gives me around 100 more effective HP because I get more ES, and my energy shield recharge doesn't stop on full life. So it's really important that I get an amulet with something like this, where cold damage leached as life but for fire, but due to the rollback it disappeared from my inventory once I finally got one. And I could use energy leech and it upkeeps my 2k ES quite a lot. And for now, for the showcase, I just used my heavy belt, and my main spell has 42% crit. My tree looks like this. I focused on the block, some life, ES, life, and chaos res. And my clustered jewels were really unlucky. And I just took this one, a bit AoE damage, flammability effect, and damage over time and area of effect with 2 clusters, and just cast speed, ES, mana, life, chaos res, spell damage. This one is one of the best jewels, is cast speed, energy shield, and corrupting blood, and Illipan, life, spell damage, crit multi, cast speed, fire damage. neither of my duos are really good, and I got very few crit nodes. Trollseeker would be some of the next nodes, and Snowforged, but for now I focus more on the live part. And I use Intensity with my Blazing Salvo. I cast 7 projectiles, and at 4 Intensity I lose some because of Pinpoint. My links are Blazing Salvo, Pinpoint, Spell Echo, Control Destruction, and Intensity. And I'm currently not really happy with the Spell Echo because of the cast speed, and I'm getting stuck in space, and that's kind of difficult in rituals. But with the new shield and the life recovery, it's kind of okay. For difficult bosses, I can use Assassin's Mark for 50% crit multi and 1.5 increased critical strike chance, but most of the time I don't use it because I lose 1 cast to do it because of the 0.4 second cast time. Most of the time it's just easier to cast once more with Blazing Salvo, and then the boss dies sooner that way instead. My Fireball, I don't really use it yet. For now I use just the wall Fireball variation for mainly speed clear and rituals, and I used some energy leech on there until I get a new amulet with the fire leech as life. And it's really good to upkeep my ES. And that was the build and the showcase. My auras for now are Anger, Herald of Ash, and I noticed if I continuously cast, I'm very soonly running out of mana right now, and I was just standing there, and therefore I thought I add in some clarity for some mana restoration and mana regeneration. And now it looks a bit better because during the spell echo period I can regen and keep casting for longer. My playtime is 2 days and about 4 hours, but I say about 9 hours are spent being AFK or theory crafting the build and doing other stuff and answering comments on my other YouTube videos. And I leveled mainly as a Armageddon brand, and my current death count is 142, and I will show an outtake after the PoE, and that has no sound, so it's not that important. The video is mainly done after the PoE. And thanks for watching. Bye bye. And this is my current PoE, and if I unspec out of this tree, then I lose 3.5k DPS per point, but I can use it and spec into the Scion life wheel and back at 110 points, and then I end up with 5.8k HP and 1.9k ES. And if you look at the calculations, because of my high chaos res, I got 30k effective health pool of chaos res, and my other resistances are at 75k or 74k, and for HP I get 23k with all my flasks up, for example roomies. And the vigil is the jewel that I wanted for the fortify, and if I add the vigil and get the fortify up with my general's warcry, then my effective health pool for physical is 30k, for elementals it's 93k, and for chaos it's 37k effective health pool, and it's super tanky with my block cap for both attacks and spells. With clusters I will have like 200k DPS, and another idea I had was to go for Trollseeker because it gives 9k DPS per point compared to this one, which gives 7.7k DPS per point. So the next points would go to Trollseeker, and that's what the tree would look like with the next 3 level ups or 1 level up and the respec to the 2 passives from the bandits.